Hey guys, Shadow the Rat, and for today's video, we are going to be reviewing a rat agility kit. So this kit here comes from Mr. Mango Makes, which is a Etsy shop, and they were kind enough to send me this to review. And there's actually quite an interesting story behind how this kit was made, because it's actually one of my subscribers who collaborated with the shop owner to create this kit. And so it's been tested by other rats before, which was a big reason that I was super excited to try it out because, well, you know, it's actually been through the testing process, and it's had a kind of second opinion. And they even modified several things based on those rats' experience. So this course here is a really polished set. And I, for one, am super excited to review it, and also super excited to use it. So I have partially assembled it to start off. It did come very nicely packaged in this box, but I got a little bit excited, so I might have already assembled some of the stuff. But I do want to mention before we get into reviewing each obstacle that you can either buy the agility obstacles as a whole set, in which case you get all of the obstacles seen here, or you can buy individual obstacles, and they are all 3D printed, and they are made in the UK. That's where the shop owner is located, but they do ship worldwide, and as some of you know, I'm in the US, so just a testament to the fact that they do worldwide shipping. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the first item on our list, and one that I am particularly pleased with, and that is the weaves. So as you can see here, this is the weave poles, and weaves can be kind of hard to design for rat agility courses because you have to make them in a way that's pretty intuitive for rats, but also it needs to be very easy to assemble. And one of the issues I've had with past weave kits is either they are very prone to breaking, or they're just too small for the rats to really use properly, or the rats just find them unintuitive. Basically, it's something I've had issues with in some of the other agility courses that I have reviewed. Crumb, 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 that's not for chewing on. As you can see, it is something that should be used supervised because some rats do like to chew on everything. Crumb, yes, I'm calling you out. Anyways, this weave set is super easy to put together. When you get it, you'll first have all these pieces off. These are just little pegs that perfectly fit into the holes. And as you can see, they just come like this. And this here just snaps together really nicely. And then you just snap in these little pegs, and after that, the weave poles are perfectly ready to go. So yeah, I really like this design. I think it's super great as far as being intuitive for the rats to use. Very easy in out pattern here. And it's also very easy to put together and very easy to store. Two things which I think are very important for any agility obstacle, because anything that's hard to put together is something I know, at least for myself, I'm going to have a hard time being motivated to use. So something easy like this is perfect. And I will be showing you clips of my rats using these because we have tested them out, and Raisin in particular really likes this one obstacle, which is not surprising because Raisin is obsessed with weaving, but it's just another great testament to this being a really great example of weave poles for rats. So let's go ahead and put that aside. And the next item on our list is going to be the balance beam. So this one's quite interesting because your rats will be walking across it, and in early renditions of it, it actually had a second step, but as they found out when testing it with rats, the rats had a tendency to put their feet on the second step. So they have removed that, and now you just have this simple beam. And this, in my opinion, works out really well for rats. It's a really good way to test their balance and to ensure that they're really concentrating when doing the course. And I've used this one several times with my rats now, and they absolutely love it. And they figure it out quite quickly, and it's really cool seeing them go from just kind of having to carefully walk along it to quickly being able to run over it while not making a mistake. So this is a really fun obstacle, very simple, and just generally a really cool addition. I really haven't thought to add balance things to my rat courses before, so this has been a really fun thing to work with. Now next up, we have another favorite obstacle of mine, and that is the seesaw. So this seesaw is actually one of my favorite designs, just like the weave poles, and that's because this is a one-piece seesaw. And one of my main issues with other seesaws I've gotten has been them from breaking, because typically this will be made of something else, and once it detaches, then you're kind of out of luck. So having this be all one piece is super useful to me. It means I'm not going to have to deal with anything detaching, and I also like that it's slightly weighted towards one end so that the Seesaw will return to place after the rats use it. So very useful, and it's a great size for the rats. It has this nice textured thing right here, so it's very easy for the rats to walk over it. They're not going to slip. It's just a really great obstacle. And again, very simplistic design, and personally I think that's what makes it so awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that aside, and let's see the next obstacle. So the next obstacle here is also pretty simplistic. This is just a platform. You can use it for several things. I believe when it comes to like dogs, they would usually stay on here or do a sit. When it comes to rats, of course, they don't really do sits, and they're not that great at staying, but personally I have been using it as a spin platform. So I get my rats to get on here, and then I cue them to spin. So I think that is a really good use for it, and it makes a really fun end of agility course. But you can also put it in the middle, just have your rats hop onto it and hop off of it. Again, a very simple obstacle, but really useful and really versatile, and also very stable, which is very important when it comes to an obstacle like this. Now next up we have the tunnel. So this tunnel has a really cool feature, which is that it has a base. One of my issues with tunnels when I'm doing agility is they do tend to roll all over the place, and I've never thought to put a base on them for some reason, but this here is super useful because it means that your tunnel is not going to be going anywhere, and that means your rats are going to feel a lot more secure going through it. Plus it's just convenient not having your obstacles go everywhere. So yeah, this tunnel is quite nice, just a very basic agility piece, but I really like the design of this. My rats have had no trouble figuring this one out. Which, well, you know, is to be expected, but it's always nice to see. Now, next up, we have the jump. And the cool thing about this jump is that it can be easily made to be different heights. So you have these little pegs here, and all you have to do is take one of these pegs, and you'll see that one side is a little bit thicker, and you just slide it on through the two holes, and there you go. That is your little agility jump. And this is quite nice and quite sturdy. I really like this design as well. I feel like this is the sturdiest example I've seen of a rat agility jump that can be changed height-wise. And my rats have also taken to this one really quickly. It's just very easy to use, and yeah, I really like the design for this. I know I'm saying that a lot, but honestly, this is one of the best agility courses I've seen made for rats, or really any rodents. It just seems like a lot of thought went into every piece, and you can really tell that they tried it out with rats and figured out what works. So I just really want to praise that, because I haven't really seen that with other agility courses, and I think that's just a really nice thing to see, because not many things are catered towards rats in particular. But yeah, this here is a really cool jump. The rats had no trouble figuring it out. Next up, we have the tunnel jump. So the tunnel jump is a favorite of mine and a favorite of my rats, and it, like some of the other obstacles, can have an issue sometimes where it can be very unstable. And that's one thing I like about this tunnel jump, because it clicks together very securely, and the base is very secure, and when the rats go through it, there's no way it's going to fall over, even if they are rather chunky. So I'm quite happy with this jump. It's actually a hoop jump. I don't know why I've been calling it a tunnel jump. But anyways, like I said, I'm quite happy with this hoop jump, and I feel like it's just really nicely designed, and yeah, I just really like it. And next up, we have the A-frame. Now, I have to admit, I kind of had some trouble figuring this one out at first. It's very simple, so that is all on me. But I thought I would mention that because it's true. I did struggle a bit. But basically, you just take these side pieces and you hook them on the little pegs, and that is what keeps it nice and secure. And I accidentally got this one out. Let's go ahead. There you go. So it's quite secure with the pegs hooked in, and the little size thing lets you make it more or less extended, so to speak. So if you want the angle to be really low, you can just use these little peg things and make the angle lower in that way. So let's say when you're starting out, you might want the angle to be lower so your rats get used to it, and you could do something like this. And then later on, if you want it to be a, more severe angle, is that the word for it? I'm not quite sure. But yeah, if you want to make it a little bit more difficult, you can simply attach it a little bit higher or a little bit lower on the divider thing. And yeah, then you'll have yourself a higher A-frame. So yeah, the A-frame design is quite nice as well. I think that it works really nicely if you as the human can figure it out, which honestly most people won't have an issue with it probably. That was just a me thing. But yeah, once I figured it out, it was no problem. And it's quite sturdy. So that's a really good thing. Again, it makes the rats more confident. It makes the prop more useful. You don't have to be worried about it falling on the rats or falling over when the rats are on it. It's just a really nicely made prop. So yeah, I really like this one as well, and I love that you can change the different angles that it's at. I think that's a huge benefit when it comes to training, really any agility obstacle, but especially the ones that have a learning curve, like the A-frame. It's just really helpful to be able to make it either harder or easier as they figure out how to use the prop and get more confident with it. Anyways, as you can see here, this is the whole course. You have 8 different obstacles. You have the tunnel, the A-frame, the seesaw, the weave poles, the hoop jump, the bar jump, the platform, and the balance beam. And yeah, it's a very complete kit. I think everything here is super high quality. It's just a really, really good kit. I think it's definitely one of those kits that I'm going to be using quite a bit. Simply because it's not only really nicely designed and great for the rats, but it's also super easy to assemble and disassemble, which I know I talked about before, but that for me is easily one of the biggest things a kit needs to be, because it's so easy for me to just put up a prop and never think about it again after using it a few times if it's not easy to assemble, because then I'll just not really want to assemble it, so I'll just put it up so I don't have to think about it. But when it comes to something that is very easy to put together, very easy to take apart when I need to, that is something I'm going to be using quite a bit. And this kit is definitely something very easy to put together, very easy to take apart, and of course, like I said, it's also very easy for the rats to use. Now, Crumb here is trying to chew on the little card that came with the kit, which again, as you can see, it comes from Mr. Mango Makes. And you can see on the back of the card, they have a care guide. Crumb, will you stop trying to chew up the card? And it says hand wash only using warm water and soap. Do not machine wash. Avoid high temperatures. Use a soft brush to clean if necessary. All pretty common sense stuff, but you know, it's kind of nice to know. And the seller also has an Instagram, which you can follow. And I will have that alongside their Etsy page, linked down below in the description and comments. So go ahead and check those out if you're interested. And yeah, now I'm going to show you a few clips of my rats doing various agility courses using the obstacles from this kit. They have definitely taken to it very well, and they really enjoy all the obstacles, like I said. And I think this is a really good kit, regardless of if you're starting out with your rats and doing agility, or if you are very experienced with it, just because it's a really good quality, and you get many varied obstacles. And yeah, everything here is just really great. And again, you can also buy individual obstacles, so don't feel like you have to buy the whole kit. I know that can be a little bit overwhelming. And of course, if you want to add extra obstacles to a course, like, you know, having 2 bar jumps or something like that, you can always buy another one, which is also a nice thing. And oh, I forgot to mention one more thing, but you do get to choose the colors. I chose the orange and purple, but there are a variety of colors you can choose for your kit. So, you know, if you have a certain color set in mind, don't think that you're limited to just these, because there are so many other colors that you can choose from on the page itself. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I hope you guys will check out Mr. Mango Makes, because I think they have a lot of fun stuff for rats, not just agility kits, but that is, of course, my primary focus. But yeah, they have a lot of other cool stuff for rats and other rodents and other pets in general. They do a lot of 3D printing stuff, so I definitely recommend checking them out. Again, I will have their Etsy link down below and their Instagram if you want to check that out. Yeah, that is it for this video. So let me know what you think of the kit, and let me know if you think this is something you try with your own rats. Yeah, I will see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!